Hey YouTube! Something exciting again is happening at Heiko's garage. Let me show you. The guys that faithfully watch my videos probably remember that I had a video about a motorcycle seat cover that is made by Badass Moto. It's made out of a 3D kind of a very breathable material. It's actually made out of 2 layers of this stuff. And in my initial review video I mentioned that it definitely increases airflow under your butt, so in the hot summer heat you're gonna keep a cool butt. But the problem with this product is that it's really hard and kind of harsh sitting on it. So when I go for my Friday afternoon 1-hour run through the mountains here, within 30 or 40 miles my butt is hurting. And so I took it off and then was just riding on here on my reproduction BMW motorcycle seat, and this is pretty hard too. And I'm getting older, so I was looking for other products that are out there to try them out, and I came across this thing here. This is a natural sheepskin cover. It's made by Squoosh.com. It's off of Amazon. It's called the Sheepskin Motorcycle Seat Cover Small. This is the model number. So if you see my Airhead bench seat here, this small, I measured a little bit before I ordered this. This fits pretty well. It lines up with the contours of the seat bench really well. You could even buy 2 and put them behind each other, so for your passenger you have the same comfort. I will put an affiliate link down below so you can check it out on Amazon's webpage itself. Let me show you how it's mounted. So it literally only has 1 strap, which is a rubber strap. There's a clip on each side, which I actually kind of find pretty cool. So when you're on a motorcycle tour, maybe it's raining, you're parking your motorcycle in a parking lot of a motel or whatever, or you're camping and you want to take this inside to let it dry off overnight, you just undo 2 clips like so, and then you can take this whole thing off and take with you. Since this is natural wool, so a real sheep product, this is actually not gonna deteriorate just because it's wet. The fur of a sheep does not give into weather. It insulates still while it's wet, and I'm assuming this is gonna fade out a little bit over time due to sun exposure and maybe moisture, but it's still gonna keep its properties. You can take your air hose to it and blow it out and get all the dust out of it. You can even rinse this out with a garden hose. The underside feels like there is a little bit of some foam backing, so it gives it a little bit more cushiness. And then it has those little rubber nipples on here to make it non-skid. Here's a little label on it: Squoosh Comfort Cushions, natural sheepskin, and the web address again. So far I've taken it for, it's pretty non-skiddy. Plus the rubber strip, it really doesn't move all that much. And when you're sitting there on your bike, you definitely move around a little bit. You can slide it around if you need to. So far I'm pretty happy. I did an 80-mile ride yesterday and I had no signs of any kind of butt fatigue. So this is pretty nice. Here it's pretty hot at the moment. We were in the 80s yesterday, and it was no problem sitting on a soft piece of sheepskin. So what we're gonna do is, I have a action camera on order. Once this thing arrives, I'll figure out how to use it, and then we're gonna go for a ride with this thing. I'll take you up the twisties, up the Sierra Nevada mountains, and then we're gonna talk about the seat cover a little more. How about that? Let's do it. Hey guys, next morning. Now it's time to try out the seat cover and also take you guys for a ride here in the mountains. I think I figured everything out how to do that. Here, let me show you real quick. A beautiful smoky day here in western Nevada. I don't know if it comes out on the camera, but all the California fires are happily delivering smoke to our area here. But only a few miles from here, south, there's blue sky, sunshine, and that's where we're gonna head now. As I mentioned, I have to try out this sheepskin cover, seat cover that I just put on a little bit longer ride. And then as I said that I would like to take you guys on a ride, I got myself one of those $60 action cameras, kind of a Chinese clone of a GoPro. We'll see if that works. Audio recording is going to be done via my Chinese knockoff communicator to my phone. So audio phone, video here. We'll see. This is a, I don't even know how to say the name, COOAU branded camera, 4K recording. We're going to do only 1080p, and we'll see if this stays on. It's pretty hard to find a flat spot on a round helmet. Of course there are fancy ways of mounting this. You can have like a chin mount, but that's of course all extra. So we're going to try it out the way it is. And we're going to try out my new sheepskin. Alright guys, let's get settled up and let's get going. Bike's running. We got fuel. Airbag is connected. Video and audio recording running. And off we go. Let's get out of the smoke. I hope I'm not too noisy, especially with the helmet closed and the microphone literally like an inch away from my mouth. Oh, and the air going through my jacket feels good. The smoky air. I hope my camera is not going to fall off. That would be kind of a bummer, even though it's only $60, but you know, I just didn't want to spend $300 or $400 on a GoPro just to find out if I'm actually using it and enjoying it and liking it and all that. So a cheapo camera will have to do for the time being. Camera equipment is expensive, and then you need extra batteries and mounts and cables, and before you know it, you have to spend another $500 on. Bike runs really well. Look at the smokiness. I mean, we're looking at a mountain range in front of us and you can't even see it. It is crazy. But just a few miles from here southbound is clean air. Alrighty guys, so we are on our way southbound, heading out of Nevada into California pretty soon. Hope I got my driver's license. Oh yeah, that's good. So this is the first time I'm trying out this new Chinese knockoff GoPro, wannabe GoPro that I bought on Amazon. I again kind of spent way too much time researching that topic, and then I ended up buying the wrong one. But it's okay. It's going to do the job, I think. I bought one that specifically has a microphone port, so you can hook up a little lavalier mic and record audio and video together in the little camera. But then I figured out when the camera is inside this waterproof case, you can't use the microphone. So now I figured out another way of recording audio separate from video, which is done with my cell phone and my Bluetooth communicator that's hooked up to the side of my helmet.
also a Chinese knockoff cheapo thingy. But I did some testing last night indoors, working pretty well. So let's see how long it's going to take us until we're out of the smoke. Always got to keep an eye out. We have a lot of wildlife running around here. Deer and bear and mountain lions. Still kind of nippy. I have my summer jacket on. And for my life I can't find, there's a waterproof layer that zips into this summer jacket. And I just can't find it. So this here is all back road. There's not going to be much traffic at all. Some horses. Lots of ranch land. There's going to be cattle left and right. And mountains. But unfortunately, view is quite obstructed at the moment. I don't know what's going on over there. Something blinking. Alright, good thing. Someone with his big, massive lawnmower. Ooh, wow, that's a tight gate. Yeah, we shall see what the audio is going to be in the video. I hope the mounting tape is going to hold. So when you buy one of those cheapo action cameras and you use the included sticky pads that they give you to mount it on your helmet, just throw them away. Just buy the ones that are made by 3M or Scotch. The ones that come in the package are absolute junk. I put it on last night and this morning it was already coming off. And I did use the hairdryer to warm up the glue, and I did use rubbing alcohol to clean the surfaces, and it's still falling off. With Scotch tape and 3M tape, you don't have that problem. You rather have the other opposite problem, that you can never get it off again. But that's pretty much it. When I do this, I'm only looking in my rearview mirror if the camera is still there. I could have probably put a little tether on it, but hey, full risk today. So still smoke everywhere. We're going to make a right turn here. Another back road. It's actually pretty nice here, kind of a scenic area with the mountains right next to us. It's all part of the Sierra Nevada mountain range. But we can't see it, but soon we're going to be able to. Just for you guys, I'm using my cell phone only to do voice recording. Put it in airplane mode and only turn the Bluetooth back on so I can record. But there are not going to be any distractions, I hope at least. And then the other cool thing is my phone is connected to the camera via Wi-Fi. The camera creates its own little Wi-Fi signal, and so I can first of all check the viewing angle of the camera on my phone on an app, and I can start and stop the recording on my phone, so that's pretty nice. Wow, it's really extra thick today. Not so much the smell, but the burning in your eyes. Since this whole thing started, my sinuses are burning, my throat is constantly burning, my eyes are burning every time I have to go outside. So it's really advisable for people to just stay indoors. Air conditioning has filtration. Make sure you put some good filters in there that filters out particles and also some of the smell. So probably the cleanest air is inside your house. So let's stop here real quick. Before we go too far, I want to see if my camera angle is somewhat acceptable. So we're just going to stay like this. I'll turn so we're still audio recording, good. Let's do the camera check here real quick. Now you guys are on the side of my helmet, but I think that's going to be okay. Yep, looks good. Okay. So I just did a transmission oil change on my manual transmission here on the bike, and I used AMSOIL Severe Service SAE 75W90, and the Severe Service is for heavy equipment, so they make sure that the lubrication layer is extra thick and extra load bearing. So when equipment sits overnight, that the lubrication layer doesn't get completely squished away. And here in this bike, it has quieted down my transmission quite a bit. So usually shifting from first into second and from second into third, you have to deploy a few little tricks to get a smooth shift out of it. You have to preload the shifter, the shift lever with your foot, before you pull the clutch and actually shift into gear. That helps. But now with this Severe Service AMSOIL gear oil or transmission oil, it's much quieter, much smoother. Also the other gears, I mean, even the downshift. Usually you have to wait downshifting, for first gear and second gear quite a ways until you're really slow, or else you get a loud crunching shift out of it. And with a Severe Service, it's much nicer, much better. I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, this is all ranch land. There are little ranches here, some private, some residences among those. Of course, nowadays, with the real estate market as it is, those ranchers, they're like, should I be ranching or rather sell my land to individuals and make millions? You sell one little piece of land here in this area for someone to put their fancy home on it, and the land is already $1 million. So you sell 5 acres and that's $500,000 worth. So I can't blame those ranchers. Of course, they got to make sure that their land is zoned for residential development. So we're still pretty much on Foothill Road. We're already in California. We crossed the state line without even knowing it. So now in California, this is the end of Foothill Road hitting US 88, and we're not going to go on the highway here. We're just going to cross the highway, and we're going to go onto Diamond Valley Road. There we go, Diamond Valley. Beautiful here. I mean, on those days when it's not smoky. 2 days ago, I was riding here. By the time I get to this point, I was already out of the smoke. I hope we're going to get there soon. The Diamond Valley Road goes from the south end of, it's not Gardnerville anymore. We're already in Markleeville, Alpine County, past a reservation, We're going to see that here in a second. This is very popular among the bicycle riders too. This is very, very scenic. Nothing but ranchland and mountains. If we get to Markleyville and we're still in the soup, I think we're going to cut this short here because I don't want to ruin my health just over a motorcycle ride. Here's a beautiful home. Seems to be of the historic nature, a little older. Part of an old ranch. I don't know if they're still actively ranching here. My favorite ride. Never gets boring. So now the reservation here coming up. I don't know what the extent of this reservation is, where the reservation ends and starts. I'm not supposed to drive through it. Part of the Washoe tribe. So far, the sheepskin cover is really making it very comfortable. And I don't feel like my crotch area gets warmer than normal. So sitting on it is very comfortable. It just gives the right amount of cushiness. Alright, where's the clear air? Come on. That's brutal here today. We have so many fires west of us, northwest and southwest, multiple fires, that it doesn't even matter where the wind comes from. We get smoke. A couple really big ones. My bike is perfect. It's kind of noisy, clunky, but it's just the right amount of power. My upgraded dual rotor front brakes are just perfect for the purpose. The tires I'm running are IRC GS11. They have a vintage or kind of a retro profile design, fits the bike really well, and they give me just the right amount of grip here for this type of riding, just cruising. The handlebars that I have on here, they are actually BMW original parts. They are off of a R80 GS, or maybe even an R100, I don't know. So one of the early GS bikes, and fits right on here. I had to buy some longer cables to make it work, but it gives me such a comfortable comfortable upright riding position that I feel like I'm sitting on an adventure bike myself. The only part that has always been bothering me is the rather hard and uncomfortable bench seat. Not hard, but you know, after just 30 or 40 miles, my butt is hurting. And that's why I keep trying out all those seat covers. First the airflow thing, and now the sheepskin. Are bumpy here. Yeah, this is all ranch land and then really high mountains right next to it. It's a shame that we have such terrible air today. Since the battery life of my little camera is somewhat limited, I even brought a backup camera. We'll see if we're going to have to use it. So here's speed limit 40, so we better slow down. Sometimes the Alpine County Sheriff's deputies are hiding in the bushes. I can tell that the smoke layer is not super thick. I can see a little bit of some blue up in the sky. So now 25, there's a school coming up. Have my little setup here with a quad lock mount. My phone is on a rubber mount, so there's a rubber damper in there to take some of the vibration out of it. You know, cell phones, they have a lot of sensors for, you know, motion. And if you rattle them too much, you can damage those sensors. I don't know if you can see the bar end mirror, but I love those. They were 40 bucks off of Amazon. I mean, it's Chinese made, but they are cast aluminum with chrome and stainless steel hardware, and the housing of the mirror is also stainless steel. They don't move. They don't ever shift, and they don't vibrate either. It just adds the right amount of mass on the end of the bars that takes all the vibration out of it. It's really good. Love it. Oh yeah, here's my Indian-made fuel cap that I haven't made a video about. Some of the airhead guys on the email list that I'm part of, they have asked about it, and I said that I would order one and install it on my bike. And so far, so good. Had to do a bunch of modifications to it though. I had to take the gasket off that it came with, and I put an original BMW gasket on this thing, and then I also had to modify the front latch a little bit because it wasn't hooking on really nicely, and now it's perfect. Shiny. It looks much nicer than the old worn out original BMW gas cap that I had on there. So, oh man, we're still in the soup. 2 days ago we were like in the clear by this time. So now we are south of Woodford heading towards Markleeville. I don't know what the highway number here is. But yeah, we're heading straight into the Tamarack Fire area. I like those little cabins on the side. I wish I could own one of those. Here's a gas station. They have like a 24-hour gas station, and the gallon is like $7 or something crazy. I mean, better than getting stuck, but $7? Come on now. I should put one at my house. $7, man. Someone's cleaning up the driveway. And here's where the fire started. Or not started, but we're driving into the burned area. All the power lines that you can see here are new. They were all burned up. They just chopped off the leftovers, the burned off leftovers. All the old wiring is still lying on the ground down there. Chopped down a bunch of trees. And then all those posts have been redone. All the cables have been reran. Come on now, fresh air, come on. Ah, camera is still there, that's good. Scotch tape is good. Or 3M, I don't know what I use. Had to layer up a couple layers to make it conform to the roundness of my helmet. I might do a epoxy modification. With epoxy and wax paper, you can make molds or shapes along the surface of your dashboard on your car or your helmet to make those stick-on mounts still a little nicer. Airport Road, I would like to go out that way. There is a little, they call it an airport, I would say it's a little airstrip. No facilities, no nothing, but the road is closed unfortunately. And I don't want to get caught on a closed road. There's lots of utility stuff going on. They still have crews out here running cables and cleaning up and chopping down trees that are completely burned up right next to the new power line. Which makes sense. I mean, now is the time to do it, right? You want to make sure that the next storm is not going to take out those trees and then they fall right back into the new line. So they cut a good clearing left and right of the new cable. I have a friend who works for NV Energy. He used to, when he was younger, he was on one of those crews running the lineman crew. They would set all those big overland power lines with helicopters and stuff. Overland or cross-country lines. The big thing. So yeah, we're almost in Markeyville. Cute little town. Man, the smoke is still pretty thick. But I know we're going to eventually pop out of it. These guys, you get lucky. All their fence was burned down. They had those vinyl fence. When they get hot, they just melt and turn into jello. But the house was untouched. Most of Markeyville was left alone by the flames. Just the power supply was completely down, and they were down for quite a while. And they had backup generators for a little while, like those big ones on a trailer. Lots of utility work. They say that the Tamarack fire is like 89% contained, but I haven't really seen any fire activity anywhere. And most of the firefighting assets are now, yeah, this is Markeyville here. Visitor center, lots of little restaurants and bars. They're currently all closed. I think there's one bar here that's, oh, this is open. Maybe on the way back we're going to have a little cup of coffee here. Markeyville General Store, Government Center. Here's where the sheriff has his office. Alright, let's see how far we have to go until the smoke subsides. Here you always have to pay a little attention to road conditions. There are stupid pine trees that always drop their cones on the road. If you run over one of those right when you're in a turn, that might be it. And then there is constantly gravel on the pavement. I don't know who does that, why they do it. It's really annoying. And we're still in the soup. Lots of campgrounds. They're of course all closed at the moment. I mean, who would want to go camping in those smoky conditions? Now it gets a little better. I can see a little bit more of the mountain. This is going to take a long while until nature will have fully recovered from this tamarack fire here in this area. All the pine trees are burned. I bet some of them are burned so severely that they actually might die. This here is the one fork of the Carson River. Good fishing usually. A little low on water at the moment. And, you know, who would want to stand out here in the smoke and fishing? There's a nice campground coming up. The Carson River Resort. And they get spare too. All their buildings and facilities, I think they got lucky. All around them was burned. Oh, looks like some people are actually camping. Crazy. And sightseeing or fishing. Who knows? Pretty nice out here actually. Even still, even with all the trees burned and the landscape looking a little rough. As long as there's no smoke, but we're still in it. So pretty soon we're going to make a left turn. Yeah. When we were on Foothill Road, did I say we're going to hang a left? It was actually a right turn. Huh? Funny, I just realized that minutes later. I need to take the progressive springs out of my fork. I had a set of progressive. This used to be like an aftermarket thing back in the days. Those progressive springs, and I took the stock ones out. They are too stiff. Makes it too harsh. Especially since I'm always riding solo. Not much weight on here. A little too rough. And I'm also contemplating to put those. There is a company that makes new valves for the forks. You have to take them apart and modify them. I don't know. I don't remember what the brand name was. I think they're called the Gold Valve Kit or something like that. I'm debating whether or not I should put that into my forks. Very pretty around here. All those roads here, they usually get closed in the winter time. Oh, he just let me pass. That's nice. Monitor pass. That's where we're gonna go. Left turn this time. You know, the other right. Quarter mile from here. Lots of good spots for like some free camping and fishing. We just gotta get the smoke season here, the fire season under control, like every year. As you can see, snow not removed beyond here. And then a little bit further up the road, there's a big gate that they usually close in the winter. Here's a lot of rock slide stuff going on, and gravel on the pavement. Big old rocks lying in the pavement sometimes. You always have to be on your A game. I usually just relax and cruise up the mountain. I'm not on a race, especially not with a 1974 BMW, right? If I would have a crotch rocket, that would be a little bit different situation. Still in the smoke, I mean, come on now. I think if I would go faster than like 60 or 70, the GoPro would be definitely pulling on my helmet pretty good. Sitting on my right side. Yeah, rock slide area right here in this turn. Pretty mean sometimes. Yeah, looks good though. A little further up, we're going to come past the little reservoir. It's not really close to the road, but we might be able to see it. And I'll stop at some scenic spots as long as there's no smoke. But looks like we're going to be in the soup all day here. Yeah, pine cone on the road. That can be a bad one if you run over it. Pavement is okay. A couple of cracks here and there. And I think here in the mountains they have some gravel pits where they get gravel and building materials. And so then always those big old semi-trucks, of course they're all dropping material on the pavement too. Okay, how high do we have to go until we're not in the soup anymore? This is brutal. This is not really fun either. Here's the gate. I don't even know if the camera is still running or if the battery is already dead. Charged it last night, but you never know. Chinese stuff. I'm not recording in 4K just because the camera needs more juice when it works on 4K encoding. You use lower resolution, you usually have better battery life on those devices. I think this is the access road to the Smoke Reservoir, I think. Is it? Yes. So there's a little parking area down there. And then you can walk over to this, there's the dam. You see that little house there? Pretty nice. I haven't fished there yet. Fishing license in California is expensive. I guess everything in California is expensive. Gas, real estate, taxes, fishing, all the stupidity that the state comes up with. But let's not talk about that for now. You can see the remains of some older fires. A little further up is a road called the Leviathan Mine Road. It goes to the Leviathan mine, which nowadays there's no mining going on anymore, but it's one of those hazardous areas with, like, you know, exposed chemicals. On the left here, that's the road. I've taken that road before. It's yeah, pretty hazardous out there. Unhealthy stuff lying around from the mining operation. All fenced in with security cameras and everything. And I think they're trying to clean it up, but that's probably going to be a long-term project. We're still in the smoke. Can't believe it. Now there's not much sightseeing going on. Yeah. I'll give you a quick smoky look. There's all mountains here, mountains everywhere. And we can't see much. I really thought it was today the weather would be just like 2 days ago. Well, literally like 2 miles from my house I was in the clear. But unfortunately, guys, but I can report that the sheepskin cover is still very comfortable. Very comfortable. Big improvement over this badass Moto airflow seat cover. And also big improvement over just my aftermarket reproduction bench seat. I don't know if the original bench seat would have been any better than my reproduction. I guess BMW still sells this bench seat, but they want like $700 for it. So I bought a reproduction from Bayer BMW in Germany. I guess they have that made for them, and looks and fits just like the original. Always got to make sure you're not too close to the center line if you have opposite direction traffic that you can't see. almost to the top. The top of this pass here is, I want to say, at 8,900 feet, and we're still in the soup. Kind of frustrating. The U.S. Forest Service, they had a big camp up here, right in this little saddle here. They were camping here all along the street. And then from here they would head northbound into the fire area. So I think here's the summit. I think. Right up here in the trees. Where is it? Monopath, elevation 8,314, dedicated in 1954. Up there is a little watchtower or like a lookout and lots of antennas. I have taken the road up there before. It's really rough. I mean, that would be terrain for a proper adventure bike, especially with my hard suspension. And then unfortunately there's a gate and you can't get any closer. So now we're on the downhill slope going into Mono County. Yep. And then there's another road that I have taken before. Kind of a left turn here somewhere. Forgot what it was called. But man, that turned into a really technical terrain, downhill, sweeping turns on my airhead. Was not a good idea. No, it's not this one. Oh, maybe it is. Crazy. So that's the Mono County line. And we're still in the smoke. The views from up here are just gorgeous, and you guys cannot enjoy it today. I guess we will have to do this ride again sometime. We're going to go all the way to the bottom, and there's a Caltrans, which is the California Department of Transportation, like a little maintenance yard where they have equipment. And there I will change battery on the camera and then head back right up, going the opposite direction. Here on the left is a really good viewpoint, or a vantage point coming up, but not worth it today. Oh man, this is rough. Look at that. It's getting worse in front of us. You can't barely see anything. So let's just rip down and then rip back up and go home and get some air-conditioned filtered air. you gotta get, if you are in an area where you have wildfires all the time, you gotta get those MERV 13 or 14 rated filters. They have a little bit more airflow restriction for your air conditioning system, but they definitely filter out more particles. And some of them actually are equipped with a carbon filter layer that even filters out smells. So you get rid of the smoke smell, at least while the fires are going on, and then you can rip them out and put the regular, cheaper ones back in. If you have a fancy air conditioning system that accepts those really thick filters, you can even buy HEPA high efficiency particle A. I don't know what the A stands for. Yeah, HEPA filters. It's good for your health. It's better than inhaling all this stuff here. So I am literally sacrificing myself here for you guys, just for some riding footage.
So here we go. Yeah, last thoughts. This is worth every penny. This added cushiness, the softness of the sheepskin, it conforms to your butt shape and really keeps it comfortable. And then here my little, ooh, don't drop it, Heiko. My COOAU brand GoPro imitation 4K Ultra HD. Did well, recorded well. We'll see what the footage is gonna look like. But yeah, and audio recording via cell phone, so that's good too. Chrome cap from India for $7.98. So what I had to do to make that work, I changed the gasket that it came with and put an old BMW gasket on it, and I filed away some material in here to make the catch go in further, and now it's actually catching good, and it's not leaking. Before it was leaking, so that's good too. All right, so yeah, all is well in Heiko's garage.